In this video, I'm going to demonstrate how to set up QuickBooks Online for your performance shop. Many shops have been using the desktop version of QuickBooks for a long time, so this will look quite a bit different than what you're used to, but the functionality is the same. The main benefit of QuickBooks Online is it's hosted in the cloud, which means that you no longer have to create and maintain your company file. And since it's online, you can access it from any device, and it's much easier to have multiple users. The main negative about it is the cost. For most small shops, you could spend a few $100s and have the desktop version for a couple of years. Now you'll be paying monthly for the software. Also, the Simple Start and Essential versions aren't really enough to properly run your shop's accounting. So you'll need to select the Plus version of QuickBooks Online. And right now it's $50 a month, but it's usually on sale for about $35 a month. So here's what it looks like. On the top banner, there's a little plus sign where you can quickly and easily add invoices or expenses or bills or access any other information. Then there's a gear button, which will take you to your account settings for your company, do all your lists, or any other tools you want to use. On the left-hand side are the various navigation tabs. The dashboard is your home screen, and it's similar to the snapshot setting on the QuickBooks desktop version. Next is the banking tab. Now, QuickBooks really pushes you to connect your bank and credit cards to the online version. I personally don't like to do that because I like to go through each expense line item that I have and categorize them properly. QuickBooks Online will do that, but it's often not exactly the account that you want to put it in. So just be wary. If you want to connect your bank, feel free to. And if not, it's perfectly okay to input all of your expenses manually. The next tab is employees. So you can click this and add any employees if you do payroll through QuickBooks. Then reports, which is something that we'll go over here in a bit. Next is your taxes. So you want to click this tax tab and then go over here and select edit sales tax settings. So this, you want to make sure that you hit the yes button for charging sales tax, and then you put in your default sales tax. So you can, depending on what state you're in, you can go through the fields here and you can put in the amount and then where you go to pay it. And so this page is your vendor sales tax liability like it was in QuickBooks Desktop. So it'll have your list of all of the tax items that you paid, your taxable income, and then how much you need to pay for the taxes. The next tab we're going to go over is the accounting tab. So this is your chart of accounts in your QuickBooks Online. Now, we advise people to make this as simple as possible. So what we want to do is go down to our income accounts. So this is the type column. And I want to find the income ones. So QuickBooks Online has this extra tier of information called the detail type. And so what we're looking for a performance shop is to really have two income accounts. So you may already have one called sale of product income. That one's good. Or you can change the name or create a new one and call it part sales. So that's really what we're looking for, is we want to be able to track your part sales. The next one we want to do is your labor income. And so you probably won't have one called labor income. So you can go up here to the top and select a new item, change it to income, and then the detail type is going to be the service and fee income. So make sure that you change the detail type to be service and fee. And then you can name it labor income. So we've already got that one created in this QuickBooks Online. And so we'll just go ahead and close this out. So now again, you've got your part sales and you've got your labor income. Another expense you may want to add is a shipping expense. I've gone ahead and added that one here. So you have an expense called shipping expense, and the detail type is shipping, freight, and delivery. Another expense you may want to add is small tools and equipment. So again, making those different expense accounts will help you designate, where your money is going. Next is the invoicing tab. Now this may be called sales depending on when you downloaded QuickBooks, but it's the same regardless of what this is. So the first tab at the top is your invoices. This will be the list of all the invoices that you've created. Next is your list of customers. So this will be all the customers that you've created invoices for. And you'll see there's these nice little colored bars that will give you information about the invoices that are out. Some people like these, some people kind of find them distracting. And so a lot like with QuickBooks, you can compress that so you don't have to look at it, and it'll show more customers in this view. All sales is going to be the same as invoices for your shop, just because you probably don't have counter sales like a retail store, so don't really need to worry about that one. and then products and services. So this is like your items list that you have in QuickBooks Desktop. So if you're transferring from QuickBooks Desktop to online, you can import this directly. So when you set it up, they'll have an option to do that. Or you can also import a list. So if you go over here and you click the little arrow, you have an option to import your list from a Excel file. Since you're using the Plus version, you'll be able to designate parts either as inventory or as non-inventory. Now, the benefits of inventory are that you're able to track your quantity on hand, but very few shops actually keep inventory of a lot of items. So you may want to be wary of not putting all the items as inventory, because then it will affect your taxes at the end of the year, where you'll have to pay the sales tax on any inventory items that you did not sell during that year. So we actually advise shops to keep as many items as non-inventory as possible. Then you'll also have your services. So your service or any labor items that you have in your QuickBooks. So for all your inventory and non-inventory items, you'll want to edit them and ensure that they're going to the part sales account. So here, and then this one as well, show income account of part sales, and then the cost of goods sold will be the expense account. Then for any service items, you want to edit them and ensure that they're going to the labor income account. So again, your income account will be labor income. So the next tab is your expenses. So if you click this, you may need to go in and add an expense. But first thing we want to do is turn on the ability to create purchase orders. Now, even if you don't make purchase orders, it's a good idea to turn them on because it adds a couple extra features. So to do that, hit the gear button and then select Accounts and Settings. Go over to the Expenses tab on the left and then click on this Purchase Orders. So you want to make sure that this box is checked for Use Purchase Orders and then click Save. So let's go in and add an expense and I'll show you what that did. So click the Add an Expense button. And let's say you order your metal from Metal Supermarkets. Now the account details, you can put in here your shipping. So you have a shipping expense of, let's say, $25. And since you turned on the purchase order settings, you now have an item detailed. So you can come down here and type in any of the products that you buy from them. So you can type in the aluminum sheet, you can change the quantity, and if you hover over it, it will even show you the quantity on hand for any of the items that you have in inventory. So then click Save. So now you've added a bill for that vendor, and then over in the invoicing side under our products and services, you will now notice that the quantity on hand of this item is 25. So making that bill adds up to the quantity on hand. And so the reason we do that is for the reports page. So I've already made an invoice in QuickBooks Online to get a little bit of information in here. So this reports page is just like the desktop one. And the one I want to look at is our profit and loss statement. So if we run this report, this will be for that one invoice that I already made. So you can see we break it down between labor income and parts sales. So this will give you a good idea of what the split is at your shop. And then next will be all the expenses that are involved. So that's a quick rundown of how to use QuickBooks Online. Now you can go through and add in any bills that come in and all the invoices that you create. And so remember, when setting it up, first you want to set up your tax information. Then you want to turn on the ability to take purchase orders. Then you want to add in all of your items and services, whether they're non-inventory, inventory, or a service. And you want to make sure that they're going to the correct account. So you may need to create a part sales income account and a labor income account, and then ensure that all of your products and services are pointing to the correct income accounts. So that when you make an invoice for a customer, you can see how much you made on labor and how much you made on the parts. If you have any questions about setting up your shop with QuickBooks Online, feel free to send us an email at info@myshopassist.com or contact us via our website.